I'm about to go ahead and launch that thing. So,
Okay.
what up? 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 It's your boy T.
Yeah, it's your man B.
You on the ride up?
Hey,
Season
yes, sir.
4, episode 13.
13. We did Spreewell already.
Well, he not 13 anyway, but okay.
Nah, it's
He wore 15, but that's what I wear.
15, 15. My bad.
It's a couple
Uh,
13s out there.
trying to think of one.
You want to go football or basketball?
Let's go football. It'll be easier.
Football, you got Marino. Basketball,
Yeah.
you got Robinson.
Hmm.
I
Cliff.
think
All
Steve
right.
Nash was 13, didn't
At some point.
he? Nash wear 13 or 14? Nah, 13, right? Or 12.
I
Nash
wanted to say I want to say 12, but it might have been 13. I'm not.
didn't think
Once
Nash.
things get too far away from my brain, I don't remember. Steve Nash, one of those players. Of course, he's a great. He's Hall of Famer, but never really like was in my stream of consciousness to watch play basketball.
Really?
No, I mean those Phoenix teams with Stoudemire, but before that, not really. No,
Yeah.
no. It was
Nash
it
is
was you know.
one trip, one tripping at all. It's Nash 13. I ain't got a couple things to talk about, sir.
Yeah. I mean, there's always something to talk about. Um,
It's a couple
Commanders
things.
8-5. Uh, shit. Did the election happen last time we talked?
I'm not sure.
Um, they put the
I
orange.
think we were going into the election.
Okay, yeah, we put the orange fraudulent con man back in office, like we didn't see the first 4 years. Uh, when I say we, I mean the majority of the other other side of the racial atmosphere of this country.
Hmm.
Um, shit, man, like basketball started. We did basketball wasn't up. Well, it was started. Yeah, basketball started. You kind of around them. And the Wizards are being historically bad, which everybody knew they were going to be historically bad. I thought, which
Like they ain't got to try hard, but they in tank mode still. They're not done trying to load
well,
up on
well,
generation.
Will Dawkins said we're still in phase one.
Yeah, that's
We're
tank mode.
still tearing down. So it's
Yeah.
like what's the watch? It's not, you know what I mean? What's the like? Why are people getting
So
up in arms about it? With critics?
the answer to that question is watching these young guys and sort of building an
Oh, I'm sorry.
identity
I'm
for
sorry.
those guys.
My bad. My bad. Not that's not my question because I actually do want to see them progress, like Bub and Keyshawn George and Bilal. Of course, I want to see them, do their thing. But my thing is like for the people who aren't, I guess, aware that this is a complete strip down and rebuild. Why are you guys like outraged? There's outrage from like people who guys casually watch basketball and casually watch the Wizards. And it's
I'm
like
I'm
what
convinced.
y'all what did y'all miss?
I'm convinced anytime there is a person who's a fan of a team and they are outraged when their team isn't good, going in knowing their team wasn't good, it means that they don't really care about the team, and it's a very selfish act, in my opinion. I feel like you want to be able to support your team and be able to brag about your team in the moment. And when your team is bad, it doesn't give you the opportunity to. Because if a team is bad and everybody knows they're bad and why they're bad, it shouldn't be much conversation. Like if they're talking, if we're having basketball conversations, I mean, you could just sit it out.
Right.
But because you
Yeah.
got fanatic egos. You can't set out a conversation, bro. I don't be in basketball conversations. I don't. If you know
I
I'm a
don't
Wizards fan, what's the point?
I haven't really been I'm not really a fan of how what the style of basketball that's been played over the last 6, 7 years anyway. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing like if somebody's gonna ask me about the Wizards, I'm like, yeah, you got 4 first round picks that are trying to grow in strength and shit. Bilal grew 2 inches over the last year or something like that, and they're all still trying to figure out how to play basketball in the NBA. So it's like Bub Carrington and Keyshawn George, they're going to be in very. I think I think what we've seen is seen enough to say they can play basketball in the NBA. How well they're going to be able to play basketball is still up in the air, I guess. Um, they're just not strong enough. They're not experienced enough to play basketball with the players that in the back in the league right now. You know what I mean? As far as just experience and trying to get a comfort level again playing against these guys. So it's not. I don't. I haven't really been. I'll pop in and pop out. So it's not. I'm not really like. So I don't really get mad at the minute by minute stuff, the play by play stuff. Um, because I know what it is. I know what is
I went to the
happening.
game against the Grizzlies the other day, and we
Yeah,
got
and I was
beat by
like,
like we was down
I
by
would have
30,
went.
and it
Yeah,
was
I
like,
would have. Yeah, I would have went. It was just that I was like, man, I'm tired, bro. It's so long
I
week, another long week about to come up. So
during the half. This the only thing the issue I had with the team, whether you win or not, okay, win, but you're not going to win. They don't have what it takes to win enough to move out of the bottom of the league right now, anyway. So I'm not really worried about whether they win or not. But it was halftime, and they were taking shots and shooting. Like I expect NBA players when there's nobody checking them to knock down open shots. These dudes didn't
absolutely,
make shots in practice, so and when they were practicing, I'm like, oh, they're not
it's going to be one of them.
going to bricks in practice translate to bricks in the game. They don't have shooters.
Yeah, it's they're one of the worst shooting teams in the league, or the worst shooting team in the league, worst 3 point shooting team in the league. You like Corey Kispert, who's supposed to be their like one of their best shooters, is one of the worst shooters on the team. And I guess he's the last Tommy pick. Um, but nah, man, I just didn't like I said, I pop in and out. I keep an eye on the standings. We're last. We're 2-15, 16, whatever it is. 0 for November, and I just find it funny. Like people like are commenting on what is happening. Like this is a regular, like they're supposed to be contending or something, and that's just not the case, and it's crazy to me. But I'm looking forward to like I see Bilal. I think he's going to be a good player. Really, like hopefully a good second or third option on a good team as he grows into his height and his body. But we got to remember like these guys are teenagers. Bub Carrington, I think he's going to be. They're competitors. I like that. I like the fire, but they just don't have the mindset to go win 82 game in the 82 game season. Um, um, I didn't really want to talk about the Wizards that long because I haven't really been watching the
Keep
Wizards that much. Like I'm not like
rolling with it, so I just go with it.
yeah no I just was interested in like why are people what do you pay attention to and what don't you like we saw you guys saw that they traded Bradley Bill and they didn't really get uh the Shy Gilgis Alexander deal. You know what I mean? Like we didn't get the Paul George, assets back. in that trade. We started from square zero. You know what I mean? We gotta hope that these pick swaps go. We gotta hope that we stay in number in the first pick in this next lottery, so we can get actually more transformational player. Shout out to salute to Alex Saw. I think he's gonna be a good player too, but he's not um as talented or projected to be as good as some like Cooper Flag and Ace Bailey and
Yeah,
Dylan. So like we're still like I said, we're probably square point five. We still got Jordan Poole on the
4.5.
team, still got Kyle Kuzma on the team, still got Malcolm Brogdon on the team. We picked up Giannis Valanciunas to basically trade him sometime in February or late January. So I'm not just nothing about this team other than the four first rounders makes me interested in watching them. And but I don't understand where like why aren't
Yeah.
anybody why is some people like not they're like tuned in enough to like what's going on the Wizards, but also like you should have been tuned in enough to see that that's what they were doing when they traded Bradley Beal. Once they did that, it's a wrap for at least 3 years. for at
Leave.
least I didn't know they was going to be this bad, but it's like you can't really like last year taught me like you can't predict how a team that wants to be bad how bad they actually going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
right.
they want to be competitive, but you're playing four kids. You're playing four teenagers. Major minutes. Major minutes. You know what I mean? Like, and they should play, play them as much as possible. Because in
Yeah,
year three,
I
year
think,
four, you want them to have a shot with
yeah,
the two kids or one or two kids that you're going to bring in to actually put them in a position to win games. You know what I mean? So
I think,
that's
think this. I'm glad you mentioned that. Like as far as like the rebuild and stuff, like I'm a segue to our more popular team, Commanders, and we're in a rebuild. Like people are we perform so well that people are forgetting we're in year one of a rebuild.
we got 31-year deals on that squad.
So
31-year deals,
the
at
the
least.
the
It might be
the
35.
running phrase has been going is that we're playing with house money,
House
and
money.
it goes back to what I said at the beginning of this episode where I said when fans are upset and angry about you not winning when you weren't a good team, it's their ego. It's a personal thing, like because you want to be able to brag. I think football, especially in football, basketball, I think there are way more fair weather fans than uh, any other sport, or at least any other major sport in America.
Mm-hmm.
Football, on the other
I
hand,
agree with that.
you know, football is a different beast. You can be the worst team in the NFL one year and then be, you know, a juggernaut in a year or two. Right? Like you think
Mm-hmm.
about the Detroit Lions, I remember them being bottom feeders for a long time. I mean, to the point where they went winless, right?
Yeah.
So now it's like they're bona fide Super Bowl contenders and look like they are like prepped to be a good team for at least 5 to 10 years, right? So it goes to us where it's like, hey, you know, it's gonna take this time. That 8-5,
Mhm.
8-5. They got we play the Saints on Sunday,
Yep.
very winnable game.
Winnable game.
Then that leaves what? That leaves
Dallas,
the
Eagles, and
Cowboys, the
Falcons.
Eagles, and
The Falcons.
the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Three games they could easily lose or win. I believe that the most likely loss will probably be the Eagles, only because of how well the Eagles are playing. I think what happened with the Eagles is they found their identity and realized that it wasn't. Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
It was stay close until the fourth quarter where that offensive line and Saquon Barkley could wear you down and then big plays can pop off. Whereas last year, early on, they were making big plays through the air. You haven't really seen those big plays through the air
Right.
this year for the wins. Like when they played against us, I mean, sure you get some catches, but it was Saquon Barkley. It was the Saquon Barkley show, led by that offensive line and the way they were pulling.
So,
And
quick
that's
question. I don't want to divert it too much, but I guess last couple weeks on Twitter or wherever I've been going in and out of the MVP debate, and I have three: Josh Allen, Saquon, and actually, shit. Honestly, it's Saquon then Josh Allen. I don't see why people would have anybody else in that conversation.
why not?
The Eagles are 11-2. Because
There's a
for one,
there's
like
a there's a quarterback there's a quarterback for a team that's only lost one game this year. Why didn't you mention his name?
the Chiefs,
Oh,
who was 11-1?
golf.
Oh, Jared. I don't I watched that team. I don't think that Jared. I think they're very talented offense. All 11. I think that Gibbs, Laporta. It's a very very like the MVP of the Lions is Dan Campbell and their GM. To me, like I don't see it, and Ben Johnson.
Let me be clear.
I,
I'm not saying that I think that golf is a candidate. I'm just saying that
and I'm not,
he
yeah,
is
but I'm not
important
also I'm not trying to
for
shit on
one game.
Jared Goff either because he's played a good season and he's played well in Detroit. But I don't see him as an MVP. If I take Jared Goff and put let's say Ryan Tannehill, I think they're 8-5. I think
That's
they're
nice.
8-5.
Ryan, that's nice. Ryan Tannehill, 8-5.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't think so.
I or you can put Kirk Cousins in that on that team and be 11-2, 11-1 or whatever they're at.
No, no, no. Kirk Cousins is on a team right now that, in my opinion, Falcons have a
Maybe
good
not
roster.
this year's Kirk Cousins. Pre Achilles Kirk Cousins, I believe that.
The Falcons have a good roster. They're they've choked. They've choked their division win.
I haven't watched enough about of the Falcons to say why they're losing. I know he's on a really really bad like skid right now because he's like 0 touchdowns for seven interceptions or whatever, and they're 0-4. But I would say like a part of that is he. I don't want to get into Kirk Cousins. All right, let me just let me move, let me move on. All right, because people talk about when I guess we as Commanders people start acting weird when Commanders fans or Redskins fans talk about Kirk Cousins like in a negative fashion, and he's just so hot and cold, and also he's a he steals money. He robs he's robbing these teams. He's not as good as what he's always made. Like he's gotten all this guaranteed money and he's not that good. Like he's not like but I'm saying is the Detroit Lions offense is so good, 1 to 10, that you can put a good quarterback at that spot and still be in contention. Not saying they'd be 11-1 or whatever, wherever they're at right now. I'm just saying they'd still be in contention. So how that's not MVP worthy. That's not that makes you out of that discussion to me. To me, you know what I mean. And Pat Mahomes has not played a good season. He's not played well for most of the season. I mean, I've been up and down too. So I got Saquon. I got Derrick Henry in there somewhere. I got Josh Allen in there. Um, Lamar was there. They kind of dropped off 8-5. You could still probably like you know make an argument, but um and they were making this Jay and Daniels argument early in the season, and I guess because he got hurt and they was talking about a cliff, it dropped off. But like Jayden is responsible for like a 4+4 game turnaround of a 4-13 team. Like, let me say he's responsible. Like that was the main piece that changed. Like there was that's the let me say it. Let me not say that because somebody was gonna come back and say, oh, what about the coach? What about they overhauled the offensive line. Honestly, they like 4 or 5 pieces. Um, the defense changed 5 pieces. So it's hard to say.
I'm just happy that we're in position. Um, Early on, people were mentioning Daniels in the MVP race,
Yeah,
and
I'm
that's
no. I'm
it's
sure he's going to get the Overroy. He's going to get Overroy, but
it's nice. Yeah, he's getting that. I mean, he's won the majority of the weeks, so I think just the math of it alone, even
no,
if
that's a fan vote, though. That's a fan vote. So I wasn't. I mean, but it's. I mean, it's indicative. I mean, it's the arrow is pointing that way.
I mean that would mean you want me to believe that it's just majority of our fans just
Oh
voting
no, no, that's
right
absolutely not.
from that.
There's
So it's
yeah,
like I think the eyeball test is saying this week he's been the best. Um,
yeah, absolutely.
Even he didn't win the fan vote week 2, and I think people were more so, but he won it week 1, and I thought it was weird. Well, I thought he had,
Yeah,
even though we didn't get in the end zone week 2, but I thought he had a way better game than he had week 1, his first week out. But I think he more so won that one by
week two is the Giants game, right? It's the
yeah,
21-18 Giants game.
yeah. I think he won that first one, that first week fan vote
Yeah,
because
yeah,
all the other rookies just weren't up to snuff yet, and everybody took a little bit of time to get to cooking.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I think from week 1 to week 2 to week 3, you saw Jayden Daniels like take these wild leaps in his
Right.
progression. Like in week 1, versus the Buccaneers, he was running to get the guy, to get in position. In week 2, he took that hit and then he started throwing the ball. he, he took that hit and started throwing the ball and then running to give himself time. And then week 3, he just, he put it a lot of it all together against the
Yeah.
Bengals or whatever. So
Hey, listen. We don't normally have hot topics to talk about. We don't do hot takes. We're not a hot take team. We don't do
no,
hot takes very
no,
much.
no, no, no.
But I think we have.
You want to get into this whole
I
shit.
want to get. Let's get into it because we got lives to live. I got
Yeah, okay, yeah,
ran. I
we got
randomly
it.
got Pepco workers
And
working 10 o'clock at night with trucks and stuff. So we don't have. I'm trying to preserve as much audio quality as I can. I need
all
to hear your
right,
take on these allegations, dog, before I get into it.
all right. What I think is just seeing how Jay Z's lawyers is attacking old boy, that this is gonna fall apart for him. Not for Jay,
For
for Tony Busby, who's the lawyer that is representing
Jane
Jane
Doe.
Doe in a alleged rape allegation and lawsuit against Jay and Puff. um, the background of that, I guess we can get some context, is that Tony Busby put out like a 800 number for Diddy victims, and somehow has put together this um 30 cases or 30 victims or something like that against Diddy, and one of these victims has named Jay allegedly, because part of what Jay's shooting back with and his lawyers are shooting back with is that Tony Busby's made other plaintiffs
To lie.
exaggerate,
No,
lie
to lie.
on
Not exaggerate. To lie.
exaggerate the bill cases. So
To lie.
and
Not exaggerate. We're not going to exaggerate. Exaggerate means there's truth. You're stretching it. Lying.
yeah, and
Fabrication. Lying. Those go together.
between that and them trying to force um the identity of Jane Doe, who is now probably 37, 38. He was 13 in 2000, 24 years ago, 30, whatever that is, the math, 37. um, they want to get her anonymity lifted. I just think how they're going about it is the complete opposite of how other defendants have gone about it.
They're not
Like
sitting on
between
their hands thinking, "Oh, I'm not." Nah, they like, nah, bro. What you not about to
the
do is
opening,
that
yeah,
think it's gonna be sweet. I'm not gonna sit
he
around and let
actually
you just keep chirping. Nah, I'm coming at you.
he
Yeah.
actually sued he actually sued Busby before it even came out as a John Doe, claiming it like he's claiming extortion. So this is not a guy that's, first of all, it's a guy that's going to spend his, it seems like he's going to spend as much money as he's going to need to like clear his name. And secondly, it sounds like he's got the lawyers to beat back this guy that actually we've heard his name before because he had like 13 of the 17 or 18 cases against Deshaun Watson. So who knows how many of those were real, wasn't. But I feel like at the end of the day, I can't vouch for nobody. I'm not gonna vouch for no celebrity, but I think that this is not gonna work out for Tony Busby. It's just not. You know what I mean?
So
I don't feel like this doesn't feel like the Cassie lawsuit. To me, I was reading the Cassie lawsuit and I was like, damn, it don't look good for your boy. You know what I mean? It just none of this stuff looks good. It looks like it don't look fabricated. And then Kid Cudi came out and said, "Yeah, my car got blown up." So then it lended credibility to
so
the rest of
let me
Cassie's
say this. Let me say this real quick.
suit.
Let because I got a bit of a tangent. I guess it's a tangent, not a tangent.
Yeah, yeah.
My
You've been on this for months now, so
my issues, my issues, and it's not just Hove. It's Hove, it's Diddy, it's R. Kelly, it's Bill Cosby, it's Michael Jackson, it's a lot of these guys, even Prince, but to a lesser extent. Bill Cosby, I don't think it was guilty. I never did. I still don't, and I'm glad that he's not in prison, living the rest of his old life, for something that somebody said he did 20, 30, 40 years ago with no evidence. I think that's crazy. I think that you can't have a democracy and a justice system about evidence and it's just witness testimony. If that's all you need, then anybody should be able to go to jail. I've seen people who have been caught on camera doing things and don't go to jail. Like the guy who, tried to play Good Samaritan, ended up killing the black kid on the train. He's not going to jail.
no,
It wasn't self-defense. He didn't attack you. So I
no.
don't I didn't know I don't know how that works. Right. But I'm not going to sidestep. I heard someone mention uh oh, it's about the victim. The victim is the victim. Listen, I have no problem putting myself in a position of being crucified by social media or whoever want to holler at me, you can kiss my ass. But we were like, I was 13. Somebody like everybody, every 13-year-old isn't the same. So if somebody's 13 and you don't know how to say, hey, somebody did something to me, and you say it 20 years later, I'm don't expect me to give a shit. And then somebody, oh, well, what if it was your son? Oh, I'm gonna raise my son to say what happened to him. And if he don't, then that's something that's a choice he got to live with. But I'm not going to just say, okay, this person is guilty because this person said it without any proof. Even if you don't come forward with it, I mean, do yourself the benefit and have some evidence of the shit. Even if you sat on that evidence for a long time. But to say, well, it was just your memory that it happened, that don't work for me. And it's because anybody can say it. It happens all the time. Oh, somebody did this to me, or something this happened. No proof. Then even if the person really did it, I can't hold them accountable. Just like, how do you hold somebody accountable for doing something that you have no proof that they did? Right? The social media and its guilty until proven. Oh, you're not even proven anything. Guilty until found not guilty, but still lost your career and your livelihood. That's what it is now. Kevin Spacey was a prominent actor, and he had a hit TV show going into what, season three,
Something like that.
and some kid came and some younger dude or whatever said that he was sexually assaulted by Kevin Spacey. Kevin
Hmm.
Spacey lost everything. He lost all his jobs that he got going on, and he was found not guilty. Do you think you're going to see Kevin Spacey in I'm saying, starring in a blockbuster movie or just any of those type of movies anytime soon?
No.
No. The answer is no. You know why? Because even though he's found not guilty and these executives and all of them know it, and they even have a relationship with him, they're not going to want to work with him just because his name is tainted. Because there are too many idiots in the world that will say, "Oh, nah, he did it. He did it." Well, the court said he didn't, but he did it, and that's all that matters. And that's what a lot of these people. That's what these people do. They file civil suits because they know that you're likely to settle because it's it's easier on your reputation.
Hmm.
And so when you have that, I can't rock with it. Now I've also people like, well, what if this? The what ifs are the what ifs. If there's evidence that comes out that Hove did this or all these people, like like this, for instance, the things that Diddy was accused of from Cassie in that civil suit that she courageously got strength to, file for. And again, I don't give a fuck how people feel about me and victim blaming. I'm not victim blaming. Victim blaming is saying, "Oh, it's your fault." No, 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 no. That it's not the same thing. Me saying, if you ain't you ain't say it, that's on you. But how convenient, you're getting paid a lot of money to own up to it now, but you wouldn't have got any money in a criminal suit, a criminal case when it happened,
I mean,
right?
she probably could have. She probably could have uh gotten gotten him prosecuted and still probably could have got money from him.
Not, okay, let me say, not obviously you can come back and do a civil suit after but you don't get as much if they not out here earning still.
The
If it
thing,
happened
good
when it
thing
happened.
about the good thing that would have been for good for Cassie, I guess, if that was the case. Like that, most of Puff's money comes from not him. He's residual. Like it's all residual. So it's not like he's gonna be in jail still making money. You know what I mean? Like that's how the music business goes. Like it's like he's like he hasn't had an artist break in probably what 15 years.
He's the artist that's breaking.
Yeah, like he comes out with music, but how the last like he's Dirty Money, and then his last album maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was like I don't think he's making that same money as he's still making off of the No Way Out catalog or the, you know what I mean, Ready to Die or Mace or, you know what I mean, none of that stuff from the 90s or Mary J. Blige, you know what I mean? So, or Jodeci or whoever, you know what I mean? So it's like,
So, so
like
I it's
what I'm saying is his money would have been safe to take regardless of if he was
right, but
found not guilty or guilty in a
where it's
criminal
not
case.
safe at, Brian, where it's not safe at is when you just have a civil case after the fact, when you can't press charges, then you don't have to worry about finding him guilty to win.
Oh, those are two different.
So what I'm
Yeah,
saying is,
those are
if
two
you
different.
file, hold on, if you file if you file press charges against him and say these things happen, and then you lose because there's no evidence, that one hotel video of him beating you up, that's not enough evidence to say he did all the other things. Now, sure, it can work in your favor. Kid Cudi saying this happened or that, he has no proof that that was Diddy that did that. There's no proof.
Other than
That's
him saying it, then it
that would be
happened.
considered circumstantial. It's not
Sure,
proof. It's not proof.
but
And
you'd have to get the person
if you have a
that
if
set
you
it
have
up
a
to
good
do
enough
it.
lawyer, if you have a good enough lawyer, which probably does or did at least at that time, that's he's walking away from that. So if you lose a criminal case, you're not losing a civil case. But when you can't file a criminal case and you benefit off of the remnants of Me Too and all this other shit and social media and cancel culture, it works heavily in your favor. So what makes you more courageous now than you did then?
I think the
Like,
only thing that
are you
made
really?
her
What makes you safer today than you were 5 years ago?
well, the only thing that changed was that there was a deadline coming with the civil to file a civil suit. So she had to make a decision. But she had like that was when did they break up? 2019, 2021, like before it was before or after COVID.
Earlier than that.
Before COVID? It was after?
Earlier than that.
Well, no, I'm talking about when did they break up? Like when
Like
did she
18, maybe,
2018?
maybe.
So all this stuff happened pre 2018, right? So she could have still got that same 40 million in 2018, right? You don't think so?
No, no, because she could have filed criminal charges
No,
against him.
I'm saying she could have she could have skipped that. So she could have skipped the criminal case too at the
But
same time.
here's the thing: if you can file criminal and you don't, and you go straight civil, it's going to look like you're only doing it for money. So
She could have filed a criminal complaint. She,
when you leave yourself in the place where that's the only recourse, it's not as blatantly obvious. If that's the way you're thinking, if that's
well,
the way you're thinking,
I don't know. Like we neither of us know Cassie, but like what I'm saying is she could have filed a criminal complaint. The state decides whether or not to file charges against Puff.
based on what
The criminal complaint and evidence that they file that
evidence
they gather.
the
That
state
they have to
decides,
get
whether
like you
based
can
on
file a
evidence.
complaint, then they have to gather evidence. Silver suit you can file against the defendant, and then you gotta prove that there is there's it's not
You don't have
beyond a
to prove
reasonable doubt, but
anything.
it's
You don't have to
whatever.
prove anything.
Well, you don't have to prove anything if your aim is to try to get them to settle, which they were trying to get them to settle before. And the Puff settled. They didn't take it to court. There was no there's stuff that you got. I mean, there's yeah, you have to get some. There is a judge that says there is evidence of this happening. So that's what it is.
OJ
That didn't even
Simpson,
get to that
OJ
point.
Simpson was found not guilty in a criminal case, but lost a civil case.
Yeah,
How is
lost
it
a
that
civil
you find
case
me not guilty for murder, but then you find me as the
because you don't have to be beyond a reasonable doubt. There's just there's
you
two
don't have to
different
prove it.
preponderances of evidence that you have to have. So like I understand what you're saying, but like I said, like that Puff was worth 500 million 6 years ago. The 30 million that she got or whatever it was that she was asking for, she could have got it 6 years ago. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter whether she filed a criminal complaint or she didn't. So if she was just after money, she could have got it, start her new life with her new man 6 years ago. The only thing that I think she did was okay, it's coming up on time, and I got to do this. Either I'm going to do it or not do it. She might have been thinking about it for a long ass time, and she did it.
Let me ask you this, Brian, because I mean, uh, because I feel like this, if there's smoke, there's fire. I feel like that works both ways. And everybody's, when the situation happened with Diddy, and as soon as it happened with Diddy, and Diddy started, his fall happened, the first thing people go, oh, this wish list of, oh, Jay-Z, 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 with no reason to mention his name, right? And there's the people like a Jaguar Wright. I'm not gonna say nothing negative about him. I'm just gonna say Jaguar Wright. Start talking about him, and me and you, a friend of mine, we got into a conversation back and forth about how I'm like, I don't agree with her way that she operates, and he was defending her like, oh, you defending these celebrities. No, no, no. I'm not defending celebrities. I said you could take whatever's happening to Jay Z and put it with him. Like Jamal, it could be you, and I would still give you the benefit of being proven guilty before I treat you like you're guilty. But social media and society don't do that, and that's my issue. I'm like, what? Because and people say because they're rich and they're famous, and maybe because they are ranked higher than your favorite rapper or actor or singer, you want to see them fall.
Yeah, there's
They're,
some
they're
weird, there's weird
saying these things.
dynamics. It's not even just me about Me Too necessarily. I think there's some weird dynamics with stan culture, like with like Nicki fans. You like being biased, and then like they'll latch on to anything negative about a Megan or a Lotto or Glorilla or whoever just because of whatever competition there is. Like Nicki fans that do that. There's these Drake fans now have this like there's weird dynamic between and like with the Andrew Schultz Kendrick Lamar bar. Like they're taking up for Andrew Schultz because like you know what I mean, because Kendrick said that bar again, you know what I mean, about him, and it's like it's just like weird. There's some weird dynamics that the social media is tilted. There's also the dynamic of now that Twitter is paying you to have outland shit, not just Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You have you get more views. Your algorithm hits when you
So
hit, hit these more outlandish statements and more outlandish takes. The more outlandish takes you get, the more outrage bait that you throw out there. That you get, you know what I mean? The thumbs, you get thumbs down or thumbs up. You getting if you're getting interactions, you're getting comments, then you're gonna you know what I mean. You're getting money. So you don't even have to believe it, or if you even if you believe it, you might not believe it to the extent that you're putting it out there. So I don't know. I think there's a multiple reasons why like people like you called it early, but yeah, they was like as soon as the Diddy stuff was happening, it's like, oh, Jay-Z gonna this is gonna happen to Jay-Z. This is gonna oh, it's Jay-Z's next, Jay-Z's next. And you saw it built, and it was weird. But
and
Jay-Z,
the
like,
thing about that, hold on. The thing about that is it's people just speculate. Oh, Jay Z's next, Jay Z next, and it's like how, like what, where, and then it's like, oh, we gotta find something. Oh, somebody comes and says he raped me when I was 13. It's like, oh, okay, that's what it is.
that's the thing.
You saw,
Yeah.
I knew it. You knew, so you knew that he was raped. You
It's,
knew it. Like get the
yeah,
fuck out of here. Miss me
yeah,
with that.
it's just
How
weird.
about this?
It's
Here's the thing,
just
right? This thing about this whole conspiracy, it goes both ways. Smoke fire, right? Oh, if he hung out with this person or he rubbed shoulders with this person, he must be guilty. I will. How about the logic of Bill Cosby didn't get brought up on these charges until he was trying to buy NBC, right? Puff didn't get sued by Cassie out of nowhere until he had a financial issue with his distributor as far as his liquor, which is like upwards of like close to $1 billion right there is up to a billion, and he's
I don't know what that. It was a 51-49 split or something like that.
right.
50-50 split with Ciroc, whatever. Yeah.
I find it very interesting that
Oh
people can.
no, sorry. That was he was mad because they weren't giving the same light. to his tequila brand as they were to the other tequila
He was
brands that
showing my
they
opinion.
had
He
that
was showing
Diageo
part.
had.
I believe he
Diageo.
was showing part. But what I'm saying is, whether it's true or not, or if it's actually legit or not, I find it interesting how people pick and choose when they can apply this in smoke inspired.
Well, my issue with that my logic, if you keep going down that rabbit hole, is like don't have don't traffic sex workers across, like don't throw a woman across a hotel room, like you don't have those skeletons. If I'm gonna press billion-dollar companies out, don't have those skeletons. Don't
There's no
throw pills
consciousness.
and don't throw pills and don't roofie women,
There's,
like if you're Bill Cosby trying to buy something, like if
I
I'm
am.
trying to press
Whoa,
billion-dollar
whoa,
companies,
whoa, 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 whoa,
I'm
whoa.
black, bro. Like I know what it is. I can't have a skeleton. Like, have you heard of an Obama skeleton yet? We haven't heard Obama, like Obama couldn't be president with a fucking skeleton unless he, you know what I mean? Like there's no skeletons there. They would have found it by now. You know what I mean? Like, so if you're a Puff, if you're Jay, or if you're Bill Cosby, or if you're somebody, whoever, it's like, why do you like continue this behavior? Like it's whether it's illegal or illegal, it's unethical and immoral, and it's a skeleton somebody can catch you up on. So you're gonna fight these billion-dollar white people with these skeletons in your closet as a black man? That's dumb. Like, so regardless if it's fair or not, it's just stupid.
No, I'm
So
not saying. No, I'm
you
not
are
talking
a
about the fairness.
billionaire. You are a
Fuck
billionaire. So
fairness.
Puff is
There's
a
no fair fights
billionaire.
in this. It's not about
So
fairness. And let me be clear. Uh, I uh, won't be surprised if the things that Puff was accused of doing by Cassie are all true. However, I just don't vibe with the the people. I don't vibe with people like with the big. Like I haven't had a one Diddy joke other than saying no Diddy, but like that's flipping.
I don't
Um,
think the Diddy jokes are funny.
because it's
I don't
like
think they
the baby oil jokes. Number one, it's just corny, but it's you're guilty until you're proven innocent, right? Like so now it's a stain on your jacket to go to an after party now. Like, oh, you went to a party with Puffy. I'm like, there was a time where that
He just went
was
dark.
the thing to go to a
Yeah, yeah,
party.
no, I agree. I agree. It's weird. Every picture somebody has up with Puff or something like that is, oh, you was there with the like you was out here with the baby oil or this and the third. And it's like that's stupid. Shut up. like, like you don't know when he started. If these things are true, and it's not even all Cassie's allegations because some of this stuff is from the producer from Florida or whatever. Um that's sued him too. So some of the allegations that I get the ball started rolling with Cassie, but there's other allegations from other lawsuits with the freak offs and all that. Like,
A Puffy after party is a freak off, but what was a party at the Playboy Mansion? Just a
all
good
those,
time.
I mean, that's the origination of a freak off. Those probably way more
There ain't
crazy.
nobody calling those freak offs.
They probably got crazier. That Hugh Hefner was the
He's
originator of
worship. He's
everything
worship.
that Bill Cosby did. Like let's like if you want to be real about it, and he probably should have been prosecuted at some point, but nobody stood up. Nobody stood up. So it's like, yeah,
They're not going to bring him
there's
down. They're not going to attack the legend Hugh Hefner. His name is going to be gold until like they probably bury whoever had to say something negative about Hugh Hefner.
yeah,
And it,
there's well, I mean, there's lines you cross. He stayed in his lane. He didn't try. He didn't like
how do you know though?
if that's the case, huh?
You don't know that.
I mean,
But
do
if you get powerful people around you that's got your back, that's all that matters. Maybe Puff thought he had powerful people, and that's why he operated the way he operated.
I think
Just like,
if you
I mean, Weinstein,
I
on the other hand, he was just a powerful person, and he's the worst of them all.
think if you're black and you think you got these white dudes as powerful people as your friends, you're a dumbass. Like that's it. That's how I feel about it. Like if you're gonna think you can fly in the face of some of these like and it's I'm not trying to like stay in your place, nigga, like type shit, but it's like, dog, you got to know what and if you're gonna do criminal activity and then try to like fly in the face of the establishment,
Yeah,
then you need to be aware that criminal activities might get exposed. And it actually happens. Like so it is what it is. You see it over and over again. They're not gonna let you do too much. So when we see it today, like Roger Goodell got asked about Jay. He said he basically stood 10 toes with Jay, which is interesting. So it's like NFL has probably like a good of an intelligence network as any other intelligence network that's out here. Small countries probably have like NFL probably has better intelligence than a lot of small countries. And he's saying we're good with Jay right now. Like he wouldn't have said that. He would have backed away from that. He's a lawyer, so he knows how to speak to the press if he didn't want to like put his arm around dude with these charges. Well, not they're not charges with these allegations. So that's another thing that when I'm looking at this Jay-Z case in specifically, I'm not talking about any of this other stuff. Like we can have that larger conversation. And I get what you're saying, but I just think that um there's just a lot more dynamics at play than just people. You know what I mean? It's just how people think in 2024 is not just it's just weird out here. Everybody's trying to go viral. Everybody's trying to, you know what I mean? It's just weird stuff. So I think in particular, specifically with Jay, I just don't. I see it as I think this is gonna go his way. And I don't particularly think he's into that lifestyle for this shit to type like really get stick on him. Like if it did, it would have been happened.
yeah.
So I mean, those
Well,
guys get
I
vetted.
wanted
That's
to get
why
your, I
Puff.
wanted to be in your ear about it. And we always don't get this heavy on it, but I just wanted to holler at you about that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I agree with you.
yeah.
I agree with you. Even like in the group chat when you were saying like, oh, this look at this isn't this rise of it's JJ like it was just a weird. I think there's a lot of
And you know
side,
what? It's
a
also
lot of
coincides with people trying to like diminish like his actual
yeah,
catalog too.
exactly,
Like they're trying to
yeah,
diminish him. Like, bro, you can't shrink Jay-Z. Like this newer generation and the southern generation trying to shrink Jay-Z's
yeah.
spot in hip hop
There,
history. It's
for some
crazy.
reason,
But
Beyonce fans feel a need. There's a real renegade Beyonce fan contingent that does that too. And I think this is like a Venn diagram. There's a lot of circles like that are
yeah.
intersecting on this. So it's like it's it's hard to just pinpoint one thing. But it was just it was weird. Definitely a name that gets recognition because of who he's married to or whatever. And
Yep.
I mean, if I could say like Jaguar Wright has credibility. Why can't I say credibility? Credibility because she sung on a acoustic record with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one time,
Hey,
25
listen,
years ago.
we've arrived at our destination for the night.
Oh,
We gotta have a we gotta link back up. Hopefully we can do it next week before Christmas or maybe after Christmas so we can talk about our Christmas gifts.
yeah, it's whatever,
Uh,
man. Yeah, yeah. I'm around. I'm around now. So
Say
yeah, it's
less.
whatever.
You've been on the ride up.
Yes, sir.
One.
Peace.